might not be from Krypton, but he's heads above the rest. His knowledge can't be questioned. You can put it to the test. So if you want to hear the truth and have nowhere else to go, I'll give you the solution. Just tune into his show and just kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod.
And welcome everybody back to the Phantom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube entertainment today. It is I, the Lost Jedi, and quite possibly the brother of Dave Filoni. See the cowboy hat? So, I am here to talk about the Ahsoka series on Disney Plus. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it overhyped? I can say that so far it is definitely has some overhype on both sides of people saying this is going to suck or people saying it's the greatest thing ever made. For me, right now, it fits into it's the best Star Wars since Mandalorian Season 1, and I like to. Some people do, some people don't, some people think it peaked then. Whatever the case, but the first two seasons of The Mandalorian, basically. This is done with characters from the Clone Wars and Rebels, and actually, interestingly enough, this is some characters that I feel like in all of the Disney Star Wars fandom they've really neglected. I think they mentioned the Rebels, who, when you watch that show, they essentially were the beginning of the rebellion. Hey, what's up? Good to see you here. Good to see you, Bosco Scenario. Welcome. Opa, what's up? Good to see you. I'm not going to be doing spoilers quite yet. I'm just going to get into broad strokes, give overall ideas. I will have a ticker when I start talking spoilers. But so far, the first two episodes has a lot of homage to both Rebels and Clone Wars. A lot more for Rebels, which I love Rebels. A lot of people did not like Rebels, or they're kind of mixed in between there. They call it the Disney era. I mean, it is under Disney, but I disagree. It was before we've got the terrible sequel trilogy. So I still feel it in that time frame when they fooled us into thinking about they were actually going to do something meaningful with the IP. So, yes, I loved Rebels too. So it's got a lot of nods to Rebels. Now, here's my issue. Number one is that, but don't like that the Jedi are involved with the rebellion before Luke. Yeah, that was more of they were, but they weren't. Luke was kind of a figurehead. In Rebels, Kanan and Ezra kind of don't do anything because Ezra's in another dimension, I think it's hinted at. And Kanan, spoiler alert for the end of Rebels, the cartoon series, Kanan dies. So you have Hera, Sabine, and Ahsoka left. Hey, lovely Sherry, good to see you here. Ahsoka kind of is in a weird point, and I brought this. My other complaint is time frame. They're not very clear where this takes place because she was in The Mandalorian, which takes place before, or I believe is it after Empire, but a little bit before Force Awakens, 10 or so years, whatever. So the timeline is really murky on this one. I know it's a nitpick, but it does help for continuity's sake because Rebels is again. So Rebels is before New Hope, which led into Rogue One, which goes into A New Hope. But this series, I'm assuming, is somewhere after New Hope, going before The Mandalorian, but in between. See, this is what I mean with timelines. When you get into a bunch of timelines, for me, it gets really messy and confusing. That's I mean, this is a small nitpick because I'm sure people aren't thinking about that. But for a fan, like chronologically, it does matter the order. So that's a bit confusing. But the other thing is if you followed Rebels, a lot of people, except for Ahsoka, got their own sort of definitive ending. Now, my issue with some of these things, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's the first two episodes, is that Sabine and Hera already kind of had an arc. And it doesn't mean you can't do something with that ultimately. Um, but it does mean that what you do with that arc has to warrant you exploring those characters again. Now, given this is Dave Filoni and we don't know what his ultimate plan, I know he had been planning on bringing the Rebels cast to live action for quite some time now. He's been dropping hints with with various characters appearing. Um, yeah, the whole Sabine Ahsoka story is, and that was a plot point in Rebels. And so this is my second complaint. Thank you, because I'm going to get to that. My second complaint with this show is that if you have not watched Rebels in quite some time, then most of this stuff that is in here was already set up from the Rebels series. So this also creates another pocket problem where it's kind of going into the realm of, hey, KH, what's up? How are you doing? It's going into the realm of you have to have watched this to understand that, and we know where that led with Marvel. On the flip end of that, the story does have kind of a self-contained feel. There is a lot of exposition. A lot of it does fill in some of the detail very briefly. So, I mean, the question is if they can sort of incorporate what was started in Rebels and kind of do it in a way where they can get new people to understand what's going on in Rebels, and at the same time, for us fans who want to know what happened to the crew after the events of the final season of Rebels, to give both a satisfying ending. But here's the thing, and this is not me just being a Dave Filoni show, but I do believe the man who created Rebels in the first place and who has been instrumental in a good majority of the better stuff coming from Star Wars, I would like to think he's had some kind of plan. Now, this isn't 100%. He could have no fucking plan. But I would like to think that there is some kind of a plan that he had in his head of where this was going to go. And the interesting story with Rebels was that it was on its way to being canceled. So the final season that they have for it was actually kind of rushed. If y'all don't know this story, they basically, when Disney was making everything Umbrella and getting rid of XD, they said, okay, because Rebels was such a hit, we want it to end this season. We don't care how, but make it work. And that's where I feel like the last season of Rebels, you kind of get shit like Space Whales. Nobody likes this stupid fucking storyline. I can't stress enough. Do not have space whales in Star Wars. I fucking hate that plot point. I think PB should be on later, but this was a big contention with us. I don't like fucking space whales with interdimensional time travel, shenanigan magic. I think it kind of just takes Star Wars too fucking far left. I know that they have to mention them to get Ezra and Thrawn back, but I hope they just include them once and don't make it canon. I fucking hate the space whales. I cannot stress to you how much I hate the fucking space whales. It was the stupidest, cheapest way to try to get the villain trapped without being killed, try to strand Ezra without killing him. It was like a really horrible cop out to that season. It was my one and only issue with the final season. They killed Kanan, which was cool. The death was impactful. Like they had these little like things that were set up, but it was like the most. Oh no, high ground cantina. No, don't you fucking try to give me PTSD with those fucking whales. I know the whales are coming because logically, if you're a fan, and I know I wasn't one, a lot of fucking people hated the space whales, but logically, the only way to get them back is those motherfucking space whales, and I really am praying that's not the case, but I will ask PB what he thinks of the god
I
awful
you
space whales.
I think the space whales are amazing, but I'm still watching the show. It says I got 15 minutes left of the episode, but that's with the credits. So
Yeah, it's about 10 minutes,
sorry.
but so let me let me just frame this while I buy time for you to finish watching that. Right, the fucking space whales. I can rant about these fucking things forever. The fucking space whales, like I don't hate the concept, but I hate how cheap that final because it's the final season, right? And they're like, oh, we want to keep Thrawn for the future. Well, if we kill him, he can't come back. Oh, we'll trap him with space whales. Like, it was such a big, like, okay, if you guys don't know, I don't give a fuck what anybody says who hates Rebels. Okay, Thrawn in Rebels was the man. His first introduction is he kills somebody, and all you bitches who say, "Oh, it's the kid shows." No, this motherfucker kills a lot of people in Rebels. His introduction is he goes to a factory that is failing, and he shoots the person in charge. And he asks the person next to him, you think you can do their job better? And they're like, fuck yeah, I can, because I ain't getting shot with a laser today. And they fail too, and he kills him. So, I mean, Thrawn is set up like this no nonsense. He's like 20 steps ahead of everybody in the last two seasons. And how does this brilliant general go down? Fucking space whales. Fucking
Space
space
whales
whales.
for the win.
So that's my complaint, my one and only complaint I had with the final season. I thought everything else was good. You killed Kanan, everybody loved him. He went out in like an emotional, that's my boy, hashtag justice for Kanan. He was a great Jedi guy. He even had the blind thing going on. Everything, like, I love his fucking story arc. Hera becomes general. That explains her being there at Rogue One. Like, they set up everything good, except for they did not know how to set up Ezra's return, and they did not know how to keep Thrawn in the background for this remake. So now, coming to this, you can tell the show has to work with some bullshit to try to. Because I heard people going, "Oh well, Zod, this is just another Disney blah 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 half-ass thing because they're using a MacGuffin to." Well, I'm sorry, the
No, no,
Space Whales.
no. It's not half-assed. It's full ass.
Like,
I'll tell you why when I'm done.
okay, so it was like this was shit that was established. Okay, for instance, and I'll get more into this once my compadre is ready to talk, but the map that is shown in this show in the very beginning is actually from the episodes of the show. The star map was a Sith holocron given to Ezra, who corrupts him, and then Darth Maul makes a return before the fucking greatest Jedi battle of all time, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, when they're like old as fuck. And Obi-Wan says, I don't got time for this. Because that motherfucker would have this one. Yeah, like, if you guys haven't seen Rebels, check it out. Just for that episode alone. Okay, the way they've done it, you saw a big ass battle in season 2 with Darth Vader and Ahsoka. They have a cool battle. Of course, Darth Vader doesn't die because he has to come back. And then, so you're thinking, Obi-Wan and Darth Maul are gonna have this epic fucking showdown. They show Obi-Wan an episode before. He's like, yeah, I know who this is. I'll deal with him. They go out in the desert. You're thinking you're gonna hear the fucking Western music. And no. Obi-Wan does like a quick, like, flash movement and then slices that motherfucker like this, and Darth Maul just drops. And that's the end of Darth Maul. And it makes sense because they're both old as fuck. You're not gonna see them twirling and spinning around anymore. He was like, at that point, he was a little disconnected from the Force and go, I don't got time for this bullshit. I'm gonna die in A New Hope anyways. He kills him. So
Yes, he can see the future.
yeah, he already knew he was gonna be too tired to fight Vader, because that was the only reason why, he turns the lightsaber off and gets slashed. He's like, have you seen what happened to me in Clone Wars, Anakin? Okay, and then Rebels. Look, that's it. I'm done. I'm passing the buck. It's your son's turn to fuck up your day, like kids will do. So he was like, anyways, but that's not Ahsoka. I got way off track. It's just this funny scenario I've been running through my head, because everything, when you really think about it, that happens in such a fucking funny way. Like, when you really think about the OG trilogy, there's a lot of irony in it, because you think, like, going into A New Hope, oh yeah, Obi-Wan, right? He's gonna be at least 2 or 3 movies showing Luke the Force, all this shit. He's like, nope, your son's just as stubborn as you, so we're gonna leave it to the kids. I'm out. And then, you have that whole look, I know I'm making light, but it's really kind of funny, and I feel like watching Ahsoka reminded me for the first time, and I want to address this now because I know PB can hear me, and I'm sure that Dave did not hear us whatsoever, but I'm going to say Dave did. They actually show the cuts of the lightsabers in this show. You physically see where they struck, and there's burn patterns.
Pretty upset about the way that lightsabers continue to work, though. We'll get into it.
But still, I would think you would appreciate that, because I was watching it going, oh, PB's going to be happy with this, because this was the exact complaint we had in every other...
No, I was happy. I was happy up to a certain point. We'll get into it.
But all in all, another complaint I heard, and I'm addressing the complaints because we're going to debunk them. Now, look, there's a certain group, you guys know who we're talking about, and what do they bring up? And everyone who follows this group, like, look, good for you, whatever. But the best argument I've heard from the other side is the women in here fold their arms and they're not likable now. Come on, guys, do better with your reviews. Like, they fold their... Okay, so...
Everybody in this show is likable.
Yes. The cope I have heard on the other side, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call them wrong for this, because they're fucking wrong, okay, is that, oh, well, Sabine cut her hair short, like a dude. Did you watch Rebels? It was symbolic to she had time pass. Cutting her hair meant she was ready to get shit done again. She was gonna go back to the ghosts, and it's time to fuck shit up. And there's even lore.
Microphone. I tried flagging you down. That didn't work.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so there's a whole episode, in case you're wondering, where in Rebels she goes back to Mandalore, and they explain why they have short hair. You want to know why the Mandalorians have short hair? It's because their hair doesn't get grabbed when they're fighting somebody. That's why she had it cut short. It was so that if somebody went to grab the back of her head, they'd have less to grab. That sounds like fucking tactically sound. So the fact that people are harping on all this stuff, oh, her hair has dyed. It was fucking dyed in Rebels! Literally the fucking box. If you put just look up Rebels and look up images. Any image, she has fucking dyed hair. She has the purple towards the bottom, white on the top. I kind of fucking don't like how they make it all purple. We'll talk to that. Once again, this is a small nitpick. Just because I'm a Rebels fan. But anyways, it was white up top and then like purple kind of highlights, right? They changed it aesthetically to mostly purple now. That's it. Nothing else. The hair dye doesn't mean anything. Them folding their arms. I heard this fucking retard who did this other review goes, well, this is just the women are trying to make a gravelly voice so that they can be dominant like the men, and it's the me. Okay, this shit has gone too far. If you just want to say you hate this show because you hate Disney Star Wars and you have a personal bias, I accept that. Cool. I can respect that answer. But when you try to sit here and tell me that everybody's unlikable, when there were even funny moments, especially the part like when she's running from the people because she's supposed to go to that ceremony, and she basically told them to fuck themselves, and she does the little slide through the fucking X-Wing. Like, there was playfulness. There were character actions. Like, the only one I'm not vibing with on this cast is Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Hera. I think she
You motherfucker!
I think she doesn't.
You gotta be fucking kidding. That's the one person that. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the one performance I don't really like. I think she played.
That's the only one that's fantastic.
No, not for me.
I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because both me and whoever the director of this episode is, because I know Dave wrote it, but I don't know if he directed it. Did he direct it?
He directed episode 1. Somebody else directed
Episode 1, yes. Probably more episodes. I don't know. I guess it's really involved. Who's ever doing the directing knows the same thing that I do, which is Hera's got some nice cakes. Like, god damn, man. Holy.
Okay, alright.
Like, first time she walked on screen, I was like, woo! I could go for some green Captain Kirk style.
Okay, I apologize and do not endorse any of these statements. Anyways, no, I agree. She looks good. She has the mannerisms.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. She's got it spot on. Best character in the show.
My issue is the fun. There hasn't been a lot of situations because Hera was also fun. Like rewatching Rebels.
Yeah, but she also didn't used to be General Syndulla, so.
No. When she got the general title, it was at the end of the series, the last couple of episodes.
Yeah,
she
there
was still
no time to have fun then.
But she was more serious. There was still a fun element. Now it's only 2 episodes, okay? There's 8 episodes, so I think they could develop this like playfulness. Plus, she really doesn't have a crew anymore. Fucking Kanan's dead. Zeb's
she doesn't need a crew if she's sitting on that fucking thing. She carries a crew with her.
Yeah.
One left cheek, one right cheek. Bam!
I agree with High Ground Cantina says. Her look is on the show is fine, and I agree.
Oh, it's definitely fine.
No,
yeah.
She's talking about Sabine.
Sabine, my bad. No, Sabine's all right.
No,
she looks exactly like I expect her to in real life.
Yeah, she looks like her real life counterpart. Even I know we're jumping all over the place, but the cat.
That's how we do it. The cat looks fake as fuck. I hate the cat. What's wrong with the cat?
No. But here's the irony. That's not CGI. That's they used a puppet. No CGI.
Okay, well, it's the way that it plays on screen, everything about it looks wrong. But that is not the Loth cat that I remember.
But it is, but if you look at the mural and then the cat, yeah, it does look like it just live action. I know, that's what was going to be one of my negatives. It's got a very uncanny valley, but I respect that they used puppets and not CGI.
I don't respect shit if it don't look good. I don't respect any. I'd be like, oh, well, we used actual puppets. Well, then why does it look so fucking terrible?
I mean, because they didn't use Jim Henson. Jim Henson Studios were fucking. Oh, that baby would have looked mint. It would have been like, this is why you get Jim Henson Studios to do your puppets. Because did you see the Five Nights at Freddy's puppets? Them shits look just like the game, and Jim Henson Studio
Okay.
created all of the puppets.
So if we're doing
clearly
we're doing gripes first, right?
Yeah, because I got a lot more good than I have bad. So I say, let's get the negative out of the way.
Oh, way more good than bad. Way more.
Without a
'Cause
doubt.
there are only two things that piss me off in this show. Number one is the lightsabers. Like, I watched the fight, and you were right. Up to a certain point in episode 1, I was like, all right, we're slicing, motherfucker. Somebody's gonna lose an arm at some point. And then you get to the lightsaber duel between Sabine and whoever the frickin' evil chick is supposed to be, right?
Yep.
And all I want to know is, why are we no longer giving people the Darth Maul treatment? Like, you stabbed her, and instead of just sliding through her spine like butter, you decided to turn your lightsaber off or pull your lightsaber straight out, or however you do it, so you're just making one tiny hole. Like, why are you injuring somebody so that they would survive? Like, that better play out into something, or else it doesn't mean anything.
Because this is the other
It's
side's
fucking
complaint.
bullshit, man.
This is the other side's complaint too, by the way, which I hate that we have that same argument. But I got two very good reasons why.
Hey. Blind squirrels.
Two very good reasons. One, when they were doing that fight, she did see Ahsoka's ship. So, I think it was more like, okay, the priority is not killing Sabine, but it's slowing them down so that the fucking droid dude could get away. Because if you look at it, she was just buying time, and then the droid saw Ahsoka's ship first and was like, oh shit, I'm getting out of here. Peace, bitches. And just hauls ass, which I thought,
Okay.
did you catch that? I thought that was comically hilarious. That droid looked up, saw the ship, and said, yeah, she's a Jedi, she's got it. Just fucking books. It's okay, that was pretty clever within itself. But the other thing is, too, if you remember, she knew that she couldn't win against Ahsoka.
Justin! Oh, what are you doing, Justin?
Yeah, Justin,
Come on, man. Did you watch both episodes already?
I just realized I may not have sent him an invite.
Well, considering the title is called Ahsoka Episode 1 and 2 with PB, it wouldn't surprise me that you didn't send him an invite.
Yep. Because I didn't think he'd be available to jump in, but if
I'm more than willing to accept the explanation of she didn't kill her on purpose to slow them down, whether it be for 5 minutes or 5 hours or 5 days. Yeah. Right? You don't okay. She didn't go anywhere and waited for her to get better. If she would have been dead, would she have just carried on? I'm not 100% sure that she would have. But it's not like you would have been missing anything, because the corpse is going to be there when you don't get back.
Yeah, true. But so I think it was more of a maybe even had the intention to kill her, because there's some weird thing they haven't explained, but I think she's a friend of hers, because when she mentioned going after Sabine, I'm just going to say Ray Stevenson's, because I forget his fucking... I just was like, oh, that's Ray Stevenson.
Jason Skull.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just call him Ray Stevenson, because he just sounds badass like that. So Ray was like... He made the name Ray better. Anyways, when Ray gets there... you could tell when he mentions the name to her earlier. I think they were friends in some kind of rebel lore, and she has a personal thing, and I don't think she wanted to kill her quite yet. She saw Ahsoka, was like, oh shit, I can't take on 2 Jedis. My mission is just to get the map. Unlike fucking Sabine, I actually listened to my fucking mentor. And she's fucking jutted it. Okay, and that's gonna be another issue that I have. Sabine's character arc, if you watch Rebels, was pretty much she learned to rely on other people. It left it with her and Ahsoka training, and she was gonna be her apprentice. That was all at the end of Rebels. But my whole thing is that there was growth and she kind of grew up. The biggest issue I have with her character in this show is like Dave pressed the reset button on all of her character growth, cuz she kind of does some fucking stupid things, like takes the fucking space map to her place far from the ship that's docked with a bunch of people who will defend it from the fucking Republic to a fucking outpost in the middle of fucking nowhere where she can easily be jumped. Like there is some stupid fucking writing like that that does kind of bother me. It's very much like, oh, we
She
want to
could
set up
never
this
be easily jumped. She's a Jedi warrior.
a terrible one, even
She's
according to
been
that
trained. She's got a
droid.
lightsaber.
No, I do like the fact too that they show that she gets her ass handed
What's
to
up,
her by
Tim?
like she loses bad in that. So all of the people going, oh, it's gonna be another female empowerment. Well, no, because her and Ahsoka quite often fuck up a lot through these first two episodes. Like they miss everybody every
Oh,
time.
shit! I got more X's this time. Hi, Karen.
Hey, Karen, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Welcome to our review. So, okay, so I should have probably put spoiler banner so people know we're talking spoilers, but fuck.
God, why are you so loud?
But anyways, so
Jesus Christ! Why do you have your gain at 200, you psychopath?
because my mic's further away from me, so I can have the Cowboy Dave hat on for this review.
Okay, well, everybody can hear you clear. Everyone in the chat, let me know if you can still hear him clear as day now. Because if you can't hear him now, because holy fuck, I could sure as fuck hear him. Dear God, man.
Okay, so
I had to unplug for a moment.
So my other issue was kind of resetting Sabine's characteristic, and another huge issue, and maybe it was just me nitpicking, and I said this before you came on,
There's
but if there's anyone logical who could appreciate this point, the timeline, okay? So you had Ahsoka appear in The Mandalorian, right? And that is what, a couple of years before Force Awakens, right? It's like 10 years before yeah, 10
no,
years
the
before.
Mandalorian is substantially before. No, the Mandalorian happened 6 years after, which means it's like 14 years before, because there's 20 years in between all the trilogies, roughly.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we got that, right? Now, Ahsoka was there. That makes sense in the timeline because it's after this. But then where does this fall? Because clearly they have the Ghost still, which is right before Rogue One. Hera's a general, which was before Rogue One. Um, but Zeb's in the world of the Mandalorian too. So my question is, where the fuck does the show fall? Is it running parallel with the Mandalorian? Is it before the Mandalorian, and then we take the
After the
adventure after the
Mandalorian guy,
Mandalorian?
it's running parallel to the Mandalorian now.
But if it's running parallel to the Mandalorian, some of the things that happen in the Mandalorian make this feel like it's supposed to be before it. But
Like
then,
what?
okay, so like the whole school thing, and Luke Skywalker starting to school, and she's supposed to be one of the trainers in that episode. But then she mentions the Ezra thing. Now, am I supposed to take it from when she goes, I gotta find an old friend, Ezra, blah, 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 deuces? That is where this show picks up because there's still stuff just after Rebels, but Rebels is substantially before The Mandalorian. And this is only supposed to be a couple of years after Rebels. So you see what I'm saying? The timeline's kind of funky, like they're trying to fit it to be parallel, but the events are too far removed.
What are you trying to connect this with Rebels? This is like
Because they directly
20
say,
years
they even
after
say one of
Rebels.
the lines that it's a couple of years after Rebels. She makes Hera
Like
makes
15? What, Rebels goes right up to...
if
Rebels
Rebels
goes right up...
to be right
If Rebels goes right up to Rogue One, Rogue One goes right up to fucking Episode 4, then... Are you gonna let Justin talk?
Oh yeah, go ahead. What's up, Justice? Sorry, this timeline thing was fucking bugging the shit out of me.
What was bugging the shit out of me was the fact that this immediately within the first 5 minutes looked like a shitty fan film that I immediately turned off, and that was it. I didn't give it a second glance. I never gave it a second chance, and I don't think I will because I'm done. Um, there is nothing that can impress me at this point. Everything is in the Star Wars universe. Just everything is just trying to make up for The Last Jedi at this point.
As it fucking should be, goddammit.
Yep, and it's not working. Nothing, nothing is working. Nothing is working at all. And this show, hold on. This show has everything going for it. Absolutely. You have a great actress. You have, I imagine great people working behind the scenes. I don't know who they are, but who cares? The fact is, I'm just numb to it. I just don't care anymore.
When did you stop being a Star Wars fan?
I never did. I'm just a fan of whatever. I'm just a fan of what I like.
What the hell does that mean?
That means 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Real Star Wars.
That's it. That's it.
Real Star Wars fans appreciate the way that you just counted.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah. That's how I view it. And I was thinking that this show could wow me. They didn't, and I know I judged it so early before the plot even began, but I couldn't do it.
See, I thought that opening scene was great.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's how you introduce it.
What am I talking about? Just because an opening scene is great doesn't mean anything good is going to come from it. And
you said the opening.
What I noticed specifically was just the camera quality was kind of shitty, and just because I thought it was kind of shitty just meant that was it for me. I'm like, aesthetically something is shitty in Star Wars. No. That's it. That is it for me. Just like the quality of the camera, that turns me off so much.
I have to remember to have a high quality camera with me when we meet up.
Well, considering this is Star Wars, this is.
I wouldn't want to turn you off.
What?
I said I wouldn't want to turn you off.
Yeah. Oh, I don't mean it like that. Absolutely.
Sure.
No, but it's just, when you've been dating an insane chick named Lucasfilm for the longest time, once you see the signs already, and your ex-boyfriend, not your ex-boyfriend, I'm sorry, her current boyfriend talks to you about them, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that happening. And once they show the signs of that thing that that is a problem happening, yeah, that's the earliest sign that you dodged a bullet by not even involving yourself in this. So hopefully this is leading up to the fact that this is going to be shit.
No, it's leading up to the fact that Thrawn is dead and everyone's been playing each other because they don't know what they're doing.
Pretty much.
I mean,
do you think they're actually going to find Thrawn here, General Putz?
I do, because they show. This is the thing I hate about trailers. They did show him in a scene, and I recognize the thing from even the first episode. So yeah, I think they're going to
listen. They showed him in a trailer, correct? We can agree on this. I don't remember seeing him in the trailer, but I will just agree that he's in the trailer. How do you know that it wasn't a flashback?
I mean, it very well could be a flashback, but I think they are going to get him because
the Admiral.
Yeah, because I think it would lead to something interesting. But I just want to kind of strongly disagree with Justin's opinion, and I'm going to play the scene because I highly disagree with your assessment. Because I think the camera work is actually some of the better camera work that we've seen. I like the fact that the tones are darker, as you can see in this background, because it conveys in the scene. To build up a villain, right, you have to have a certain ambiance. First of all, Ray Stevenson is a fucking great actor. Rest in peace. I did a whole stream about him. Go check that out after this, about his numerous accolades and how he made even the shittiest roles really good. Go check that out after we're done. But anyways, so I'm going to play this clip. First off, I like the fact that when we start this scene out, they try the whole nice, oh yeah, we're Jedis, and then he's like going to arrest them very arrogantly, which you don't see. This is just a clip of the fight because I want to disprove properly.
I mean, no. Can we go back to like showing her actions?
Yeah, like I'm not seeing where this. Like, see how she does the iconic move super quickly. She slashes this guy, and oh look, you can actually see where the burn mark is. Thank you, Filoni.
All right.
But
okay,
like,
okay.
So you see, she threw this guy, she slashed this guy. Granted, you have to slow it down because, like a Jedi, they move fast.
Turn it to quarter speed, then.
So I mean, even if you just like
that's
look
not quarter speed. Turn it to quarter speed.
Okay, hold on a second. Playback.
A quarter. Oh.
Okay.
Well, you wanted to see what happened. That's super loud.
Look at how she slices through that guy, and this guy is gonna get the gun out, but that's purposely because.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't think I like the fact that, and it happened a couple of times. Now that I'm seeing it again, I remember the posing. There's so like, new Black Widow would be so upset at all these posers.
I do admit that's, but like, see, look,
she did a little pose before she slashed.
And then I like he uses the force to like cripple this guy's arm, and then look, they finally show it after years. PB, my favorite part, yes, through the chest, as it should be.
Through the fucking heart. No, through the heart. And the spine.
And the spine. Like, he fucked that dude up. They show someone getting killed. Okay, now do propers, Craig, give him some points. Yes, the lighting here is kind of irritating, but this is the ship at Red Alert.
Red Alert! What are you...
No, I was,
And then this whole thing right here, where he's going through, here comes my favorite part. I know... Look, you see the slash to watch. I love that.
Yeah, that slash, like, he's just like, he just falls down. Like, no.
Yeah, because he got stabbed by a laser sword. The
No,
Force
he
choke.
wasn't stabbed by anything. He was just falling down.
No, you see the burn marks. I could go back.
No, go back.
Oh, can we talk about the next little bit after he slashes all
I
these
can see
people?
that.
Now,
I can
see,
see
but
that.
here's the thing: they do it so quickly, you have to really pay attention. But look, bam! You can see right where he slashed him. That wasn't like, oh, he went down. Now I understand because this is still kind of marketed towards the younger crowd. They didn't want to do him in like dismembering.
No, I want to talk about this next part. This next part is some fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
been
but
using
also-
droids for all of Star Wars to open doors, and you can just twist that fucking thing with the Force and know how it opens.
I
I
mean,
don't know. They have to find the Oompa Loompa, I guess.
He didn't find jack shit, he just turned it with the Force. Since when are we just turning these locks with the Force that our units are supposed to plug into?
I don't know, but all I know is that this is discount Count Dooku. This is only discount Count Dooku.
I
No,
totally
Count
disagree.
Dooku
That's
had a
very
red lightsaber. This guy has an orange
Ray
lightsaber. It's not the
Stevenson's
same.
performance.
It's not the same.
No, the
Yeah.
guy looks like Count Dooku. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
That's because Ray Stevenson is like 58 years old. How does he not look, Robert? Like,
It's like, yeah, he's an older white guy, so yeah, I get the racism of saying all old white
no,
guys.
I'm
look the
sorry.
same.
I'm sorry. If Christopher Lee was alive, this would be his role.
okay, first off, that's highly
Sure, why not?
disrespectful to a person who fucking this is one of their last performances.
They have absolutely no idea when it comes to aesthetics, like how to be original when it comes to it. Like this looks like a discount Count Dooku. You can't come up with another design for the villain at all. You have to make him look like Count Dooku. Why? Why?
Dude, well, I just want to. No, the real question is why did you say discount Count Dooku instead of just Dooku?
Because it would be less expensive to rise a guy from the grave to have him reprise his role.
But
You totally misunderstood what I said. It's fine.
But Count Dooku is dead to begin with because
Thank you, High Ground Cantina. He gets it.
yeah, Dooku would be the pun.
It's just discount Dooku, not discount Count Dooku. Don't say count twice.
Oh, okay. So
there you go. I was exclusively talking about the pun.
I was missing this whole time. Oh,
yes.
And here's the thing: when you look at the robe in better lighting, it's actually green. It's not black. So.
Oh, snazzy.
So
I don't
it's
care.
not actually
I don't
discount
care.
Dooku, and yeah, it is.
I bet.
And
Okay.
watch
Yes,
the rest of the
it's
show.
green. It's green. I'm sure he would fit in real good in High Guard.
Oh God, don't ever bring that up on this channel again. Anyways, but no, he was the storylines aren't
There's
even
a
the same.
trailer for season 2.
he is like he's kind of disillusioned with the war in general. So I don't know what the
He's
grand
a
plan
fucking
is.
mercenary.
Yeah, basically, he's a mercenary. It's not
For
the same
hire.
parallel. Dooku was an idealist. So even the storylines aren't the same, but that's what happens.
He's a politician.
When you
discount Dooku.
I mean, I think you should really sit back and actually watch the show. And this is my problem I have with these other reviews coming out.
Here we go. Problems.
Never watched Rebels, and so they're mocking things that is legitimately a carryover, like beat for beat from that show. Or
didn't Justin watch all of Rebels?
Oh, of course I did.
See?
I totally did. Nah.
See? Your microphone died again. We didn't hear any of your response to Justin. Listen to me.
What?
Not you. Are you fucking alive, guy? What is happening right now? Like, obviously I wasn't talking to you when I said the microphone died and his mouth is just moving a mile a fucking minute.
Last
We can't hear
we
anything.
had a couple of issues. So
What issues?
when it came to my microphone? So
Oh my god.
Oh,
Ray is.
Cantina has a great point. Ray is great. Visuals are a bit too clean. Yeah, and I think that's what Justin is getting at with his critique. The visuals are very clean. They should be kind of more grimier to get that feel of the originals if you're going that route. I do agree. A lot of the shots and stuff like that, but I appreciate them showing
Well,
physical damage.
we still haven't made it to my number one fucking gripe and the thing that almost ruined the entire fucking show for me.
Okay, so what's your number one gripe before we do the positives? And then
My number one gripe and the thing that everybody should have something to say about, because holy fuck, man, it's something that you can still change now without changing the fucking episode. Like, you change it right fucking now. And some people who never seen it before, they'll never even know. The worst fucking thing in the entire goddamn first episode, second episode, and I bet the entire fucking series, unless they do something really fucking dumb. Why in the fuck does the scroll at the beginning go perfectly vertical instead of fading into the distance? I thought this was Star Wars.
oh my god! I thought someone wasn't gonna say that.
Pissed me right the fuck off. I was like, the first fucking thing I see, and you did it wrong? You just did it wrong? Like on purpose?
Yeah, from what I heard, that was an aesthetic choice.
It's shit. It's absolute fucking shit. I can live with the red lettering. The red lettering is fine. Why doesn't it fade into the distance?
Yeah, I have no defense for that. It is a piss poor editing choice.
Oh my god.
On that point.
Like, stop making bad choices. If it was a choice, stop making bad choices.
Zod,
What,
there
Justin?
was no excuse. There was no excuse. No justification.
None. It's Star Wars. Like, the words fade into the back. Or into the distance, or whatever you want to call it.
Right off the
Like,
fucking bat.
now I see why Justin turned the show off, but I was like, someone's gonna turn a lightsaber on. I can't turn it on.
Well,
And they did.
So anyways, I know this.
Dude, that is the worst fucking thing that they could have. Why did they do that?
Who's
in charge of this shit?
Lee, comment something. That's what we're trying to say. Say something. Comment on this.
I already told you I don't got a defense for this. I admit that threw me off too. I looked into it. Actually, it bugged me so much. So Dave Filoni wanted to do it as
Felonious.
Yeah. I talked to Big Brother Dave about this. I'm sorry, guys. I failed you. He said, "Nah, I gotta do it this way because it's his own thing." And I was like, "Dave, you might piss some people off with this, but you know the cowboy hat was on too tight that day. I'm sorry. I tried."
Excuse me. Good morning, Christine.
And High Ground Cantina has a very good point.
Morning.
He says this could be a nod to the Thrawn book, which that's true. It does have that, but this is not a book. And
What does that have to do?
Yeah, I agree with these guys. Even if it's like
Why? Because the letters in a book don't fade into the distance. Is that what he's getting at? Because I can make the letters in a book fade into the distance. You know how? You take said book. You fucking throw said book. The words fade into the distance.
Like my whole thing is that I'm willing to overlook this stuff though because
why?
The story.
I will never ever forget this moment in Star Wars when they decided to completely change the opening scroll. I wasn't even expecting a scroll. Is there an opening? Hold on. Is there an opening scroll for all the other TV shows? Is there an opening scroll for all the shows? I don't think so.
That they're absolutely.
So then they decide to put one in, and then they decide to do it wrong.
I mean,
like if they were gonna make fun of it, make fun of it, okay, and go out in making fun of it. But to take it seriously and then do that. I mean, no. It's just like we know where the writer's strike started, and it clearly was right
I
here.
mean, yeah, that could be a part of it too. Look. Let's be fair though. Let's be fair to the
No.
show.
No.
Let's-
I think we're being
no,
very
let me
fair.
finish.
We are
Let
being
me-
no,
let me finish,
Zod.
please.
We are being extraordinarily fair.
No, let me finish. This, in the grand
That's
scheme
what
of
she
things,
said.
is a minor nitpick. I'm sorry. The opening crawl to me is the end all be all. when the
Oh my
content
God!
itself
What
has been shit.
have we learned? Nothing. Have we learned
Kenobi had a scroll.
nothing?
High Ground Cantina said Kenobi
See?
had a proper scroll. That's true, and that show was shit.
Zod, have we learned nothing from the last 3 films? From anything else that has come out
I
from
disagree.
Lucasfilm?
I
We've
actually
learned
like Andor
nothing.
and the Mandalorian.
Like
Justin,
like Lucasfilm shits, you eat it. Like
Justin,
my
you
God.
could say the last 4 films. I guess it wouldn't be because Rogue One came out afterwards. 4 out of 5.
Oh well, Rogue One does, sort of count, but I was mostly talking about like the trilogy films.
Yeah,
they need to bring Gareth Edwards back to do another movie.
No, we don't. Unless it's a one-off and all the characters suck and they all die anyways, then by all means bring them back.
The characters don't just die. Some of them get TV shows.
And then they die.
All of the characters die. That's the whole point of life.
No, they die in that movie.
Oh. I mean, why watch the prequels? Kenobi just dies in number 4.
Yeah. Yep. True.
That's a terrible argument, and you
No, it's
know
not.
why.
You
You know why it's
Kenobi,
a terrible
okay,
argument.
we just talked about this. Kenobi is literally in a negligible part of A New Hope, and I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's not fleshed out in that movie. He teaches Luke. You think he's gonna be a mentor, then he just decides to fucking.
He's like, no, it's time to pack it in and become more powerful than Qui-Gon Jinn.
Nah, are we really gonna get into this right now?
Yeah, it's Star Wars discussion.
Oh,
We
okay,
get
all
into
right.
everything.
Well, fuck it. The difference between Obi-Wan in A New Hope and every new character in Rogue One is that while the similarity is there was a clean slate for all of them, but in Rogue One, they all achieve their little tasks and then they die once they achieve it.
Perfect.
But they
It's great. I love it too, but it makes me give less of a shit for any of their backstories, including Diego Luna.
Wait, so do you not like Obi-Wan Kenobi or any part of his story in the prequels? You don't like any of them?
Because you know where it ends.
That's not what I said at all. I liked,
but that's the same semantic
story.
drawing.
I watched episode 1 first, and then episode 2. Then I found out, there's more movies. Oh, that's amazing, and they're better. So I watched those, and then Obi-Wan dies, and I'm like, I'm shocked. But it hits me differently as a someone who grew up with the prequels. But at the same time, I'm sure there are people who are going to love this character of Andor or whatever. But I didn't give a fuck about him or anybody else, including Jyn Erso, who is the only character I can name aside from the droid, who is the droid.
K2SO?
K2SO, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
K2SO is amazing.
And he dies, so who gives a fuck about that? So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but I
just
mean, then you're looking
the
at
point
it.
is the point is when you expand on good characters, like it can be good, but with Andor, I was not impressed. In Rogue One, I didn't like Rogue One, and I, let's just be honest. I the only good thing about Rogue One is the Darth Vader scenes. That's it.
I disagree.
I
Along
can't say
with
the only thing, but it's
Oh,
definitely good
along
scene.
and
with
then
the fucking
when
G.
the characters that you don't give a fuck die, and then I
Come
applaud.
on, Donnie Yen was fucking awesome in that. I'm sorry, I wholeheartedly disagree. And it
Yeah,
was
yeah, it
interesting.
was great. Yeah, yeah, great when he died.
Well,
It was
see, you're
good.
fixated on that, but okay, let me reverse this. So, do you think the people from the what? The first Star Wars came out in the 80s, PB, around there? Because it was even a little bit before I was born. I was born in 84.
First Star Wars came
1977.
out, yeah, in the
When?
70s, in the 77.
77. Okay. So that whole series is about in the era of the late 70s, early 80s kind of thing, right? None of us were fucking born, even us 80s kids, because I was born in 84. But, okay, imagine if we were to reverse how you feel about this, with applying your logic from Rogue One, imagine, okay, someone just watching this, there is really not much backstory on this Obi-Wan. We just know he's a Jedi. He knows space wizardry, right? He's got the lightsaber sword, whatever, and we know Luke is supposed to take it over. But his characteristic only goes, he appears, saves this kid. He's gonna have this fight with a person from whose history they don't know, right? Because this is just first starting. We haven't gotten everything. We're back in the time, right? So, really, what do you know about Obi-Wan in this movie? Nothing. But you know, coming from that time period, he dies in this movie. And you like it because you grew up with it. Okay, now picture the prequel trilogy comes out. Oh, now this character who is kind of irrelevant in the movie, we get how did he become a Jedi Master, right? Who Qui-Gon's introduced. He's training Luke, so we know
Yeah,
that
but
that's how that
we didn't
or
really
Anakin.
need that.
Just
You
hold
know,
on, let me finish. So now you're the 80s guy or the 70s guy who first ever watched Star Wars, and now you're like, ooh, they're gonna explain more about this character. I know that he's going to die eventually because I've seen Star Wars 78 billion times, but now I get to see what led him up to the point of him fighting the person he mentored and who was his best friend. I get to see that friendship, how it deteriorated, and what it eventually led to. So your interest doesn't die in someone because you know what the end is. It's how the story is told and how you get to that end point that is intriguing. Such as nobody gave a shit about Gabriel Luna's character in Rogue One, but when you go back and you see, okay, this is how he became the way he is. So when you meet him in the beginning of the movie, he shoots and kills this guy with like no mercy, no nothing. But you get to see the backstory in that show of how he got to that point of just not giving a shit and why it's so big that Jan Uso changed his mind and kind of shows him progress with having this supplemental thing that's actually doing this kind of stuff right because it sets these things up. So by your own logic, if that was to apply to everything, then people wouldn't have gone to need to see the prequels because they already know Obi-Wan dies. Who gives a shit what
they
happened
didn't
in
want to know just how Obi-Wan became the way he did. They wanted to know how the events to episode 4 would conclude with episode 3, and they would suffer through episode 2 to get to episode 3 because that's where they wanted to end up, because that's where the generations met. You know, the older generation who grew up with those movies with their kids who loved Jar Jar, like and shit like that. And this is the vision
and I
of
mean
one
that
man.
proves even George
This is
Lucas
the overall vision, and especially with the prequels, especially with uh the
DeSantis
Phantom
so rough in it.
Menace, was the vision of one man. One man. versus a conglomerate, and
Yeah, but
don't.
this whole story is the vision of one man. These are Dave Filoni's characters under George Lucas. This is literally his babies. I could see the love and care in this show to the established
see
lore,
it.
which, by the way, is canon in George Lucas's universe. Because Clone Wars is canon.
Yeah.
As confirmed, not by Disney, because I don't give a fuck what they canonize, because they canonize and decanonize shit only when it suits them. I'm talking about this is canon in George's universe. I'd even go a step further and say Rebels was too, because he did endorse Rebels as well.
Well, this
So
is also
Rebels-
canon in this is also canon in Disney's universe. So I mean, take that for what you will.
But I'm saying though, I think it comes from the exact same place. Okay, let me give you an example. I feel the passion and the care with, for instance, I played that clip, right? Showing the scorch marks. They don't have to. They could have just said, fuck the fans. We don't have to show shit, just space sword. But instead, they took the time, as you saw with me pausing and even showing the spots, to acknowledge that, yeah, it's a deadly weapon and people die when they get a fucking saber through their heart. Like, there is still little details that show me that the people who have been making this actually give a shit. The designs, the direction, like at the end of episode 2, spoiler, Sabine cuts her hair. At first it's long, but then she cuts it off because in the show she had short hair. Why she had short hair was it was Mandalorian custom because they didn't want their hair being pulled during war. So she cut her hair in the Rebel show because of that. Because she's part Mandalorian. I don't think she's like full Mandalorian. There's some kind of
I don't know. I don't know, man. That was a big turnoff for me.
But see, that's the thing. On the other side of this argument, everybody jumps to doom and gloom right away without realizing that you're ignoring the fact this is in already pre-established lore. This is not the argument we make. Everything that I've seen so far, even the Saphir that they get the map from, that is from Rebels. That is the the Jedi Sith holocron that Ezra found that corrupted him, which led to the Darth Maul Obi-Wan showdown, which is still the greatest lightsaber battle ever. I love that. He just fucking kills him in one move. Anyways, that is the point. Watch season 3, episode like 19. It was fucking hilarious. But anyways, my point being is that he's pulling from his own lore he's created. I believe, even if you call it selfish, I don't think he's gonna fuck up his own characters because he clearly loves the characters in the universe he got set up. And I think that could be a good thing for the show. Because I just don't see him messing up his legacy characters.
We'll see.
So, I mean, we'll see. But I think you should give it a chance and follow this journey with me and PB because I think as someone who's jaded, it would be more of an impact if the show won you over. I say you come on review with us and we watch the show and you could give that kind of that kind of skeptical look at the show that might be objective because I just might be blinded by the fact that I fucking love Rebels, right? You're a little more jaded. So I'm saying it's good to have skepticism, but you shouldn't jump the gun until you see the finished product. Even though I fucking hated Kenobi, I watched the whole thing.
But how many times are we gonna say that and then
even Disney makes good I'm sorry, Proper. Even Disney shits out a good one every now and again. It's a fact.
all right. Well, let me know when this turd turns to gold.
I mean, okay, so on the positive sides, because I wanted to list my positives before I got into the negatives. Hey, PB. Oh no, PB, Snake. Okay, so I guess I'm going in it as a brave soldier by myself. So, where does this turn positive? You guys have heard different reactions here, and don't get me wrong, I think a lot of that is valid. But let me give my positives now. First of all, I like the art and set design. I think that the characters look a lot. There's a mural, I believe, in episode 1 and episode 2 behind them of that Rebels crew, and I swear to God, it's what the Rebels would look like live action. They do a very good job with the costume design, the set designs. I like Ahsoka having a mentor role, and I like a theme running that they are versing I want to say gray Jedi, because they're not Sith and they're not Jedi, but there is a master and apprentice, and I like the two ones who have been through a lot kind of have the same views. Um, that they're both of their students are young and kind of restless. I think that makes a simple but good uh, a good mirror and a good dichotomy, right? It mirrors each other and it creates this theme of master and apprentice, that even the best Jedi master can be distant from their student, and even the most evil or gray or whatever mercenary Jedi, I don't know exactly what they are yet, uh, they can have a closer bond with their apprentice. So there's a good dichotomy, and I like to see them flip that, where maybe Ray Stevenson's Jedi gets a little bit bolder and wants to take on Sabine by herself and starts messing up and kind of messing up their plans. I'd like to see something like this. Like, look, here's the thing I think people are forgetting. Star Wars writing has never been that deep. Like, realistically, look at it. It was elevated by the actors playing the roles, okay? When you think about the overall premise of the first Star Wars, it's super simplistic, right? There's uh, there's a bad guy doing bad things. These group of rebels have to stop them. I mean, that's, if you boil it down to its most simplistic, that's what Star Wars is. It's good versus evil, right? The layers come in with the relationships and the complexity and the nuance and the character work. That is where you get the most out of a show, right? Every show, you could say, has a very simple basic premise that's going to set everything up for the next show. Where the nuance comes in is the acting, the directing, and what they let in about the characters. And I think for this show, it's okay, Rebels happens. Ezra trapped himself, right, for the rest of his crew. Kanan sacrificed his life. So how has that affected the crew? Well, they're split up. Why are they split up? And if they take a good job to show different perspectives, show what Hera has been doing, what's it like to be a general, where has Ahsoka been? Because clearly this is before the Mandalorian, so what has she been doing? Um, the interaction between her and Sabine, like maybe fleshing out what happened for them to split up, because they haven't gotten into that yet. Um, so yeah, and I do agree, High Ground Cantina. This is live action Rebels reunion. I think it's fun, and I agree. I think this is very fun, and I think the biggest part, like, okay, one of my favorite scenes is the return of Chopper. They nailed Chopper perfectly. No gripes there. He's bragging. You can almost understand him. He was one of the few droids in Star Wars where you could, like, almost understand him. So I I don't know. I agree with that. This does. Oh, hey, what's up? 5 a.m. there. Jeez, that's sorry about that. I tried to be a little bit earlier tonight, but anyways, I think there is a lot of questions that could be answered through this show. And if they lay out the history right and then build up this thing, and I also would like to explore uh, Grand Admiral Thrawn returning. Like, how is this? Is this going to start a new war? Clearly, in Episode 2, they show there's still people from the Empire who are loyal to the Empire. So, how does this affect the world? I think this story has a chance, and I don't want to, like, get all high off of this and be disappointed. Yes, I am a Star Wars fan, but I am still very skeptical. We've seen these series fall apart time and time again. But I think the template and the people who are behind this have outlined this in such a good way so far. I was giddy with the space battles. I even mentioned at the end of it, I had that feeling of when I was a kid, and there were lightsaber shit happening and cool escapes and the fighter pilot, you know, dog fights in the air and things like that. It was all done very well. The animation is clean, yes, but it does have a pristine kind of look that I like about it. Um, the battles have been just nonstop. The only issue I have with the slowing down is the talking does feel like exposition. It doesn't feel natural. I did catch them at some points kind of using the talk as a recap into Rebels. And I do think that if you want to watch this show in particular, I would watch from Rebels season 2 to like season 4. I want to say it's 4 seasons. Um, and kind of watch from there because a lot of this stuff is pulling heavily more probably towards Rebels. The only thing that is from Clone Wars is the witches. The lady that they saved when I played the clip was a witch, so um, that's in Clone Wars. I forgot the episodes, but they're like a sisterhood of something or rather. But all in all, I think that this show does a lot better of a job capturing that Star Wars feel. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? Um, I did like all of the battles with Ahsoka. There's particularly in episode 2, there's a cool scene where she jumps out of a window, kind of reminiscent and nod to episode 3 of the original trilogy 1, 2, 3, where Mace Windu like cracked the window with his lightsaber, and he was all like, "I'm gonna kill you and expose whatever," and then he goes flying out of the window. Yeah, but all in all, I think that this show does respect its lore a lot more than a lot of the other shows. So I don't know. I think that all in all, this does respect the overall arching Star Wars lore. I mean, other than that, I don't really have too many complaints. Also, too, I'd like to highlight this is 2 episodes in, and I'm more engaged than I was even Andor. Andor started off super slow, and the mistake they made is they didn't put like a finisher kind of for each episode, so it was like you had to watch them in orders. With this one, they put out 2 episodes. It ended the little adventure of the beginning, and it's like, okay, now we got to go find these people and go stop them from summoning Thrawn, and at the same time free Ezra. So it's got a good focus to it. They completed the arc in episode 2, but they gave you enough to be excited about. Um, it did everything that a pilot should do for a show. That's my thing. I think people are very jaded, and in conclusion, I think a lot of people are jaded and are reviewing this from a place of wanting to hate something before giving it a chance. And here in the Phantom Zone, even the worst stuff, I at least give an episode or 2 if it's television show, and I give it like, you know, 20, 30 minutes if it's a movie. It depends on how bad it is. I sat through some pretty terrible movies, but I try to give it the benefit of the doubt before I judge. And so the first 2 episodes, the acting is strong, the stakes are there, there is a sense of the plot moving, there is intrigue and mystery built up. So right now, I think that this is you can't be any earlier over there than I have here. I have to get up early here. Oh, okay. Don't worry, I'm going to be done soon. But anyways, my point is, I think this is a show worth checking out. For episodes 1 and 2, I'm going to give them an 8 out of 10. I'm tampering my expectations. If the show turns out well, it could be a high 9 into the 10s, but I just want to give it an 8. I think it's more than a solid start. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. I think it has potential to be as big if not bigger, than the Mandalorian if they land the ship. Pun intended. So I really enjoyed this, and in the comments below, let me know what. So I am currently going to be working on my Justified Prime Evil uh, uh, review. So when that ends, I'm going to review all 8 episodes. Yeah, I agree. I like to agree with you, High Council. I would like to think that this is the start of a good show. So, I am going to be reviewing Justified. I was going to do episode by episode, but the way the show is structured, I kind of got to do it all at once. And so far, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty fun. I'm just waiting for all 8 episodes to release so I can do the whole series, and then I'll jump on here live and give you my thoughts of Justified City Primeval. But so far, the television landscape has been pretty interesting. We've gotten some good stuff, we've gotten some bad stuff, but all in all, let me know what you guys think about this. And I will be reviewing every Ahsoka episode as it premieres. It comes out Tuesday, super fucking late, like 3 o'clock. So probably do it on a Wednesday at a normal person time. Um, because quite honestly, I'm not gonna do a review after like 4 in the morning to give you my thoughts. I might do some shorts too of each episode, like I did this morning. I might post a short or two, giving my overall thoughts and impressions of the episodes that I watch. I'm gonna be doing more shorts on upcoming movie reviews. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Click that like button, share with all the good people. And as always, remember the only rule here in the gray Jedi zone: kneel before Zod. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.